Hey guys, remember to like the video and hit subscribe.
This is going to be my big topic, by the way, for the next year, and I hope you guys come to hate it like the J6 stuff was. I am so unfathomably black-pilled on this shit. I hate that everything I ever said about this, you shouldn't even listen to anything I say. I can't believe I ever gave any credence to this lab leak shit ever. I feel like such an idiot. Well, maybe, I don't know, it seems like it's less crazy. This was always insane. Like, it was okay in the beginning to ask questions about it, but all of the evidence that has come out since then has pointed further and further and further and further away. You have to believe in so much wacky, crazy nonsense. I wouldn't even call it a conspiratorial. It's just nonsense. It's inexplicably stupid shit in order to believe this shit. I hate that I ever gave any credence to this at all. Fuck me. Okay.
The government was building cases.
Sorry, back to this.
Now we got pretty clear statements that there isn't evidence to bring future cases on third parties. But if you look at the original 2019 indictment, it says dozens of victims. This is from Ken Klippenstein. But the Epstein review says over 1,000 victims. So what happened, guys? And by the way, in the interim, they also increased the number to 200 to 250.
200 victims, 200. So we have well over 250 actually.
So we went from dozens to 200 to over 1,000 in the span of basically a year.
Holy shit. The Doge budget cuts decreased. The Epstein victim list increased. What, were they feeding him kids in prison?
In terms of victims, we like 10x the number of victims. But now there's no perpetrators. Like the perpetrators have been reduced.
Please give the top 3 reasons why the lab leak is bullshit. All of the original cases were at the wet market. Number 1, there's no evidence whatsoever, ever. There's no evidence at all that it even came from the lab. Number 2, so everything has to be circumstantial. And then you can go into subpoints from there. There's no evidence that it came from the lab at all. So that's like your first starting point. The starting point is it came from the wet market because that's where all the original cases were. And then every other argument that people use for lab leak is bullshit and relies on lack of understanding of the, I don't know if you say the molecular dynamics or the molecular biology at play. That, you know, people will argue that this was a tailor-made virus. That's bullshit. Things like the furin cleavage site would never show up. That's bullshit. Plenty of viruses have developed these in multiple parts of their genome. Arguments like, oh, this was tailor-made to infect humans and it must have been passed human first. That's not true. There are evolutions that show up in a single generation in vivo. The D614G mutation, right, is one of them that would have shown up immediately if this was being engineered for humans. The idea that the genome of the virus doesn't match any cataloged backbone ever, so they would have had to have been working with a secret virus, with a secret spike, with a secret RBD, manufactured that nobody knew about, and then leaked explicitly just to the wet market. It's so stupid. It's actually so stupid. I think it's more likely that Israel did 9/11 than like this thing leaked from a lab. It's just, unless there's some huge piece of information we just don't have access to. Was the lab far away? Yeah, the lab was like 13 miles away. The lab's not even close to the wet market. Like, it's so stupid. Not arguing, but what's with this? What's the summary on the CIA or whatever saying maybe? All the intelligence community summaries have absolutely zero data. There's no new data or information presented. They're just like, oh, I don't know, maybe. It's just it, but there's nothing.
In terms of victims, we like 10x the number of victims. But now there's no perpetrators. Like the perpetrators have been reduced. That is the crazy thing about what they're implying here, what this lone trafficker theory is pushing forward. It's also strange because previously Epstein...
You'll never find a person talking lab leak that actually understands the basic mechanics of BSL-2 or the Petri dish style of work done in those labs. Yeah, I know. It would be a dream if I could debate like that Dr. Robert Malone guy or Brett Weinstein. Like if I could do either of those, any of these doctor people, I would love it. Holy shit.
What they're implying here, what this lone trafficker theory is pushing forward. It's also strange because previously Epstein
Who did Epstein traffic women to? To himself, didn't he? He wanted to get massaged by them and fuck them, didn't he? Why did he have to track them to someone else? Also, why did Prince Andrew get exiled from the royal family? No clue. Why did he settle with Virginia Duffrey? Could have been a million reasons. Why did billionaire Leon Black give talentless Epstein $170 million? Why does anybody get any money from anything? The problem with the way that those conspiracy theories work is that this is the annoying thing, is you'll have like, I don't know how to defeat this. I don't think you can. You either have a mind that works like this or you have a mind that works like rationally. I don't know what to do. You have an official story and then you have the conspiracy story. And the way that the conspiracy story works is, how do you explain this? Like, well, you can explain that. Okay, what about this thing? I don't know. It's probably like this or that. And like, oh, here's some others. Okay, what about this thing? I don't know. Maybe this. What about this one? I don't know. What about this one? I don't know. I can't explain that. Ah, gotcha. It's this 100%. It's like, bro, if you dodge between like 400 different theories and eventually land on one that you cannot completely explain every single facet of it, like, how about this? How about you start with one theory and you give evidence for it instead of just a bunch of like, what about that? Destiny, these people would mention obscure shit you've never heard about and suck their own dick? No, not on Vyvanse. There is no more obscure shit that I've never heard about. Okay? I know all the obscure shit. now. All right. But when we're getting into the nucleotide sequencing of the genome of the virus, there is no more obscure shit. You want to talk about the non-sequencing proteins? You want to talk about the open frame reading or whatever, and all the different non-structural proteins that coded by the genome? We'll talk about all of it. No, there is no more shit we don't know about. Okay, we will read the papers. If it's in a scientific paper about this shit, we read about it. Okay, fuck them. I dare you.
But now there's no perpetrators. Like the perpetrators have been reduced. That is the crazy thing about what they're implying here, what this lone trafficker theory is pushing forward. It's also...
Yeah, Destiny's saying, doesn't the Chinese story make sense? But look at how stupid you are. Leak from the wet market is not the Chinese story. The Chinese story is that it came from the United States. You don't even know the Chinese story.
Victims, we like 10x the number of victims, but now there's no perpetrators. Like the perpetrators have been reduced. That is the crazy thing about what they're implying here, what this lone trafficker theory is pushing forward. It's also strange because previously, Epstein, in a court filing, is said to have provided information to the FBI as agreed upon. Case agent advised that no federal prosecution will occur in this matter as long as Epstein continues to uphold his agreement with the state of Florida. So apparently there was some deal where Epstein was providing information to the FBI. What information? We don't know because no one else was involved. There's also the simple fact that if you go to the FBI records, what they call the vault, most of the files are just heavily redacted. So the idea that we got some transparency wave is literally a joke. Yes, it is true. There's no Epstein list where there's like names written down, but names exist in documents.
True of Alina Chan's insane New York Times op-ed. Nope, link it.
Some videos and images, and they're all redacted. What's going on?
You need a counterexample where a government lab is in the same city as an unrelated outbreak. Google me. That's already happened. Like if you wanted to say that, like if you wanted to say, for instance, that like lab leak is a good reason, then why wouldn't it leak in like Beijing? There's like 7 different virology labs that all study bat-related coronaviruses, some of which literally sample the virus from the same Mojang mine or whatever that some people bring up as like where it came. Like you could find so many different cities that would match the same description. It's stupid.
On here, they're going to say, oh, it's all for the victims, right? But
I don't care. Don't talk about this. Mojang? I don't know what the fuck it is.
In documents, on videos, and images, and they're all redacted. What's going on here? They're going to say, oh, it's all for the victims, right? But it's not all victim names. In addition to that, this lone trafficker theory is already on shaky grounds when you think about Prince Andrew's settlement with Virginia Giuffre, where he paid $16 million to make civil sexual assault allegations go away. Now, of course, it's worth saying that he did not admit to $1 to make civil sexual assault.
Well, and I don't trust anybody's summary of anything. Like, I'd have to look up this case. Like, what actually happened here? Like, because it could have been that she was alleging something where there's, like, you know, some degree of truth, but then, like, the majority of it might be bullshit, but it might be easier to settle. I've heard rumors that these kinds of cases can last a long time. But I don't know. I'd have to look at the details of these cases. I don't trust anybody's summary on anything anymore.
Allegations.
Oh, it's Mo Yang. Sorry.
Go away. Now, of course, it's worth saying that he did not admit to guilt. This was a settlement, but that is what you're always going to have with these rich and powerful people. In the same way, you also have Leon Black, who reportedly paid $158 million over 5 years to Jeffrey Epstein for tax advice. And guess what? Leon Black, billionaire, also paid the U.S. Virgin Islands $62 million in cash as part of a settlement, a non-prosecution, where they wouldn't go after him for anything from, quote, any and all claims of any nature whatsoever, specifically related to Jeffrey Epstein. It's worth noting that $15 million of this cash payment will be going to counseling programs and activities or mental health services. You also have Jess Staley, the former boss of Barclays. He directly admitted to having with a member of Epstein's staff, which you would expect if someone was running a trafficking operation. Although, I just have to say that there was a statement that this was entirely consensual, and I'm not saying anything about that. I'm simply saying the idea that Epstein was just trafficking for himself is unlikely to be true, in my opinion. Later, Staley wrote to Epstein, "Say hi to Snow White." Epstein replied, "What character would you like next?" Staley responded, "Beauty and the Beast." And then Jeffrey Epstein said, "Well, one side is available." Obviously, some type of coded...
Oh my God, I hate my life. I hate all of this, dude. Does Destiny believe all data/reporting coming out of China to be 100% certain? No, but I don't have to. We can look at the sequencing of the viruses. We can look at a whole bunch of different scientific data. There's so much that we can, like, I'm sorry, like, there's just...
message. You can read into that for yourself, but all of this is public.
Did I take a joke you said seriously? Are you using the same lawyers as Prince Andrew? I think Brett Laird did represent Prince Andrew. Yeah, you better believe I went with the best. My goat! My goat! This guy killed it in our hearing. Whew. My God. The transcript of which will someday be available. Someday, whenever the stuff gets reviewed. Judges are busy. They have a lot of stuff they're looking at. But everything we're just waiting on the judges to make rulings on these motions. I wonder if it's good or bad that it's taking a while. Or maybe it means nothing because they just have a lot of stuff in front of them.
Is available. Obviously, some type of coded message. You can read into that for yourself, but all of this is public. That's what I'm trying to say. That's what makes the government's memo so infuriating is so much reporting has already been done. These settlements with powerful figures, under denials, yes, but also under very questionable circumstances, make just a complete denial and statement that all of this was just Epstein impossible to believe. In September 2009, Epstein also emailed a woman named Irina to tell her that Jess Staley is staying in the Berkeley Hotel in London tonight. Staley emailed Epstein the next day to say, I should have taken your offer, according to the Times. There's also this book by one of the 60 Minutes correspondents called A Ticking Clock, where he says that he met with Ghislaine Maxwell, and he said, I want the tapes. I said to Maxwell at a table at Regency Bar, I know he was videotaping everyone. I want the tape of Trump with the girls. She didn't deny the existence of the tapes, but said, I don't know where they are. He apparently replied, ask Epstein, and she gave him a...
Okay, I don't care about this. Steven Pinker lost a lot of clout and relevance when people found him in the flight logs and shit. Do you think he should get his prominence back? I mean, the Epstein guy was a billionaire. I'm sure he flew with a ton of people. I don't know why it matters if you're in flight logs or not. Like, I'm sure there were a ton of people that were on a plane with this dude. I've flown around with people. It doesn't mean, they're all like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's stupid. June 3rd, 2024. Why the pandemic probably started in a lab in 5 key points. The SARS-like virus that caused the pandemic emerged in Wuhan, the city where the world's foremost research lab for SARS-like viruses is located. But it also contains wet markets where live animals or where animals are captured that are also likely to emit these types of viruses, right? Then we see like there's a ton of similar-ish viruses inside. And if this is research into these viruses, again, why was nothing published about this particular virus before or after it leaked? Why didn't they publish? We have no idea where this particular virus backbone came from, right? We don't have now. You could make the argument that that they were doing secret research the whole time and none of it was cataloged or published anywhere. And there was like, it's just, the year before the outbreak, the Wuhan Institute, working with U.S. partners, had proposed creating viruses with SARS-CoV-2's defining feature. Is this the diffuse proposal? It was rejected, and most of that research was supposed to take place in I think the North Carolina lab. North Carolina? Oh yeah, the diffuse proposal. A unique feature, a furin cleavage site. But there are so many other viruses that develop these furin cleavage sites. It happens. It's not impossible. It's unlikely, sure, but it's not impossible. Is making the secret research argument just hiding behind an unfalsifiable claim? Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to falsify it. But you have to believe in a whole bunch of leaps of faith, some of which don't seem to make sense. The Wuhan lab pursued this type of work under low biosafety conditions. It could not have contained an airborne virus as infectious as SARS-CoV-2. People keep saying this, but I mean, again, I don't know where they get this from. In the United States, virologists generally use stricter biosafety level 3 protocols when working with SARS-like viruses. I don't know where that comes from. The CDC recommends BSL-2 for SARS-CoV-2. I don't know where they even get this from. We don't need to go over this right now, okay? This is for after later parts of the stream. The hypothesis of COVID-19 came from an animal at the Hunan seafood market in Wuhan is not supported by strong evidence. Oh, and they use the bias search arguments. For SARS-CoV-2, these same key pieces of evidence are still missing. I don't think they found the exact animal. Maybe they found animals that were later infected, but we never had the spillover event from SARS identified. I'll save this article and I'll write like a response to all these points. There you go. Wait, not here. Okay, don't worry, we'll do this. This is for later stuff. Do you consider yourself to be the founder of Dark Woke, who have been consistently the biggest lobbyist for retard on the left? I have no idea. That Sock Dem Girls tweet. Woo! I hate the conspiracy theorist, but I don't know why you aren't reading Alina Chan's research. She comes off as completely credible. Well, careful when you say research. This is just a journalist. She's not like publishing anything. I can go over this later. Maybe I'll do it when I finish these root claim debates. But these are all just these are arguments that sound compelling until you know a little bit more about them, and then I think they are wholly not compelling. But it requires a lot of background info, but that's okay. Do you think part of the reason there is so many people believing in lab leak now is that at the beginning of the pandemic, people were shut down so hard for questioning it instead of being explained why it wasn't likely? Well, they tried to explain why. The problem is this game that people play. The problem is that they find this game that people play where somebody will say okay, the initial lab leak theory, there were so many insane theories that were floating around about this. And that's why the majority of people today, and conservatives will lie about this depending on who they're trying to argue with, and they'll say, oh no, we just think that maybe accidentally it could have come from maybe a lab, who knows. But then when you look at them when they talk behind closed doors, and by behind closed doors I mean in front of Congress and in every YouTube channel and podcast they're like, Fauci and EcoHealth were raping kids with Epstein in order to create the perfect virus that Chinese and Jewish people had a natural immunity to. They were trying to kill all people on the planet. It's like, Jesus. Like the idea that like lab leak was this very harmless initial, like, oh, maybe accidentally, blah, blah, blah. Like this was not the only theory going around. I don't even know if it was the most prevalent one going around initially. People had some insane ideas about this, but I don't know. We'll do that later. Okay. Stop. Why are you up? I don't even know why you're up right now. Look at the Decoding the Guru's interview with proximal origin authors. They talk about Alina Chin's bullshit. I hate the Decoding the Guru guys and all of those people because I think the only reason I think the only reason why I did this is because I think they recommended it. I don't remember which one it is. His name on Discord is Sikava. I don't remember which guy that is, but he was like, oh, you should look into all of the lab leak stuff. And then he linked me all this shit. And now I'm going to spend years debating this and I'm going to want to kill myself. And it's going to be this guy's fault. And I hate that it's so stupid. I hate this whole thing. I hate it so much. He did link me their episode. And I did notice that yeah, they got on this episode, they got all the original authors from that proximal origins of SARS-CoV-2 paper. But oh God, I hate this topic. I'm gonna hate this topic so much. Oh God, oh no. I shouldn't do it. I'm gonna get killed. I will get killed at an event. I can't, I have to stop. The thing that I don't like, and I don't know how much of an impact I can have, like on the course of U.S. history or whatever bullshit. I don't know. But the thing that I don't like is that in the future, like my grandkids or whatever or generations from now, people are going to learn that there was like legitimate contention over the results of the 2020 election, or people are going to learn that like the mRNA vaccines might have been bioengineered to kill us. So this is a legitimate theory, or for the lab leak, that there was legitimate scientific debate. Like this is the thing that bothers me, is that I think that these people are unironically writing into the record this just insanely unhinged shit, and it's going to be trapped with us like forever. Like I don't know if this ever goes away. And if the evidence is so, like I don't mind that for stuff that there's genuine contention about, but if the evidence is so one-sided, just like, Jesus, I don't know. Apparently Trump was getting massively ratioed on Truth Social over his schizo posting.
How many of you are satisfied, you can clap, satisfied with the results of the Epstein investigation? Clap. Okay.
What is strong evidence for the wet market origin? The strongest evidence is the fact that all of the early cases emerged from there.
I told you to clap. You guys aren't listening.